Broadcasting live from Site B at 3 o'clock in the afternoon is the OGGM. It's the 8th day of December 2022. It's about 60 degrees and sunny here at Site B. I'm drinking coffee. Support me, warm bean water. I will sell out. And content warning, this is a monetized production, so there might be ads. So if seeing ads in the middle of your YouTube is something that upsets you, you should probably stop watching this now. I'll give you a minute. Well, it's a relaxing afternoon here at Site B. Let's check the news, and oh my God, what a shock, surprise, gasp, swoon, fall over unconscious. Wizards of the Coast is in the news again. Remember, friends, the sun will always rise, gravity will always work, water will always be wet, and Wizards of the Coast will always do something on a day that ends in the letter Y. We have a huge conference call between Hasbro CEO and Wizards of the Coast's new CEO regarding the direction Hasbro expects Wizards of the Coast to go in 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. Weird that they would have a conference call about a topic that they said they were going to have a conference call about earlier this year in regards to talking about the direction they wanted Wizards of the Coast to go between 2023 and 2027. It's almost like they said they were going to do this. Much like in 2020 when they said they were going to sell off the E1 entertainment division of Hasbro, and then when they announced it, people were like, what, they're selling off the entertainment division? And I was like, no, they said they were going to do this in 2020. Why are you surprised? So at the beginning of the middle of the end of this year, Hasbro said, these are the things we're going to be investing in, and these are the directions we want things to go between 2023 and 2027. And here are the results of the first conference call between the current CEO of Hasbro and the current CEO of Wizards of the Coast in regards to the direction Hasbro wants Wizards of the Coast to go forward after the horrible year Wizards of the Coast has had, costing Hasbro almost $60 million and a 34% profit share of stock dropping almost $50 for every 100. Well, Cynthia Williams, the new CEO of Wizards of the Coast, and Chris Cook, the new CEO of Hasbro, sat down and they discussed the direction they want Wizards of the Coast to go in regards to the two titles Wizards of the Coast still tentatively has control over, Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. Most of the conference call went towards Dungeons and Dragons. Because, Magic the Gathering is kind of a disaster right now, and Wizards of the Coast is scrambling to fix it. But a lot of attention is being paid to D&D right now because, there's a movie coming out. And it's something I talk about almost every frickin' day. And hey, by the way, did you see they changed the poster for the movie? It's almost like they listened to me. If I was more egotistical, I would say, yeah, I did that. Okay, so in regards to the future of Wizards of the Coast and what Hasbro expects them to do with D&D, they're leaning heavily on D&D Beyond. What? They're taking Dungeons and Dragons digital and slowly abandoning the physical product? Never. As of today, there are 13 million registered users of D&D Beyond. Doesn't mean they're all using it the exact same time, but they are 13 million. D&D Beyond hired 350 people last year, of which several lost their jobs. But they're not going to mention that. Hasbro feels the D&D brand is under-monetized. Hasbro wants Wizards of the Coast to invest more in the possibilities of D&D Beyond, including accessibility and development in D&D Beyond. They want more data-driven insight, more digital product. They want windows into how players are playing, like surveys, because, Wizards of the Coast does things and then the players are still upset about it, perhaps Hasbro needs to step in and get more people who are actually trained to how to run a corporation and make Wizards of the Coast function like a corporation as opposed to a life brand styling. They want a companion app to D&D Beyond on their phone. There already is one. They want future monetizing with D&D Beyond. What? You're going to have to pay more money to use the stuff on D&D Beyond? What a shock. It's not like we told you this was coming. 20% of all purchases on D&D Beyond are Dungeon Masters. How do you know that? How do you know that? That's just making shit up. 20% of all purchases on D&D Beyond are DMs. I mean, technically 100% of all purchases on D&D Beyond could be DMs because that person could be wanting to DM at some point in time. So really, that is just a ridiculous, arbitrary number. I don't even know what is in there. Digital game recurrent spending for post-sale revenue. What does that mean in English? It means we're going to focus more on the digital aspect of Dungeons & Dragons and less on the physical, and they expect the digital profit to become more towards the sale revenues. They want to speed up how far the digital can expand. They have a current yearly book model set up to include a digital style of models. Again, what does this mean in English? More digital, less physical. They feel that they are not engaging the multi-generational fans, and that's something that needs to be changed. I.e., people like me who have been gaming forever have been sort of treated like crap, and maybe we need to rethink that. Dungeons & Dragons has brand recognition. Really? Dungeons & Dragons is a cultural phenomenon. Really? D&D strategy for going into Q1 of 2023 needs to be changed because we want a broad 4-quadrant strategy. Wants to expect more accessories and licensed game stuff on D&D Beyond. In regards to the D&D movie, there is significant marketing. They're expecting a significant box office. The trailer has been viewed on the Paramount channel. There possibly will be a licensed video game. There will possibly be other media for the D&D movie. They're very excited about the D&D movie. Of course, they have mentioned that it's going to be trailing on Paramount, not in the theaters. So this is a lot of corporate gobbledygook and numbers and words like quadrants and lion shares and post-sale revenue and digital branding and cultural branding. And what does that mean? What does that mean in English? Well, you see, Scotty, again, basically what Hasbro is telling Wizards of the Coast between now and 2027, this should become as a no surprise to anybody who actually pays attention to the words I say. More of this, less of this. More of this, less of this. More of this, less of this. More of this, more of this, less of this. More of this, less of this. Between 2023 and 2027, Hasbro is expecting Wizards of the Coast to make up for all the money they cost them this year, and they're going to do that because they expect them to gradually migrate the Dungeons & Dragons line away from the physical role-playing aspect and more towards the digital role-playing aspect, and focus more on the intellectual property of Dungeons & Dragons as opposed to the actual physical books, which means less and less physical books. There's only like 5 scheduled for 2023 so far. More and more D&D marketing products like toys and games and books and video games and Dungeons & Dragons the coffee. More interaction between your computer D&D Beyond and your phone D&D Beyond, and less physical copy, as well as maybe stop treating the multi-generational players like me like crap, because people like me have a lot of expendable income that we would like to give to D&D, but we don't because you've treated us like crap. So we've taken our money and gone to the OSR. And now Hasbro's going, well, Wizards of the Coast, you cost us $60 million. Our stock has tanked to 34%. Maybe it's time to rethink the strategy of treating this as an emotional advertising and focus back on product advertising. And maybe stop alienating the nostalgia legacy multi-generational players. Now I know there's people out there who are going to naysay me and, I don't know what I'm talking about, and that's not what they said, and D&D's not going digital, and don't believe what the corporate says. So I'll post the link down below. You can make up your own mind of what you think the direction Hasbro is expecting Wizards of the Coast to go. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me. The facts are there, the numbers are on the wall, make up your own mind. The link is down below. Hasbro is saying digital D&D is the future. We want you to migrate towards the more D&D Beyond focused digital thing. We want to be a digital gaming, digital media environment. The physical product isn't really what's bringing us in the money anymore. We only make so much per player's handbook or per splat book, as opposed to the amount of money we would make by charging you to go onto D&D Beyond and then monetizing D&D Beyond and then charging you for downloading each thing you want to get from D&D Beyond, plus the toys and the games and the books and the breakfast cereal and the TV show and the video games and the dice and the figures. That's all profit. That's where the focus is going to go. That is where we're going to get the widest audience, because somebody's going to, some kid's going to see a action figure of a red dragon and not going to care if it's D&D. They just want that action figure of the red dragon. People are going to buy dice for no matter what game they play. People are going to drink official Wizards of the Coast coffee, even if they don't play Wizards of the Coast games. I don't think there is an official Wizards of the Coast coffee, but if there's not, there probably will be a D&D coffee at some point in time, if there isn't one already. Support me, D&D coffee. But I'm just telling you what I see and then trying to translate it into words you understand. You don't have to believe me. I'll post the link, but that's it. That is where things stand as of the end of the year, going into the end of Q4 and the beginning of Q1 2023. We know that Wizards of the Coast is under a 2023 to 2027 focus. It is one of the product lines that Hasbro is focusing their energy on. They said so. It's the bottom one. I mean, if you remember the tier of things Hasbro said were most important to them. Number 1, Peppa Pig. Bottom of the line, D&D. At least Power Rangers still rates higher than D&D. Links down below. And speaking of links, have you gotten a friend or family member in your life who is a D&D fan a gift yet? If not, don't forget, I've got merch. I've got t-shirts up at Teespring. I've got stickers up at Redbubble. And I've got D&D product currently on Big Geek Emporium. I've got 6.5 adventures up on Big Geek Emporium for you to buy your friend or family member who has a D&D hobby like I do for the holidays. Thank you for being part of this. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for helping me reach 1,000 subs and getting monetized. I apologize if the ads upset you, but I did tell you I was going to sell out. Till next time, like, share, subscribe, support me with the various ways you can support me. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Good evening, and get off my land, you damn kids!